Everyone, Joe Waxman here, the mediocre astrologer. Man, he's okay. Guys, this video is it's a difficult video for me to make, and I never thought I'd have to make any kind of video like this. But I have some difficult news to share, I think, for me especially. Um, yeah, so I've fallen on hard times, as they say. Feels like it should be a song or a movie. Falling on hard time, it probably is, right? Falling on hard times. So my situation is such that I've not been able to find a suitable means of income, employment for a while now. I do have my astrology and I do readings. It's just not enough to support myself, and I also have to been having to support my mother, and it's been a huge financial burden on me. As well, I also pay child support, quite a lot of child support, and I don't have the money. I don't have the money to pay rent. Um, and for a while, I've been making it work. I've had various jobs here and there, and I've had some savings, and we're just getting by. My mother does not have any income, no savings, nothing. So yeah. Um, so I have to be out of here in less than a month, out of my house. And I'm going to be out of my house in less than a month. I'm securing a place for my mother to live. Um, that's in the works. So she'll have, a nice place to live and food and a bed and all that. As for myself, I'm going to be living out of my car. Yeah, I'm going to be homeless. So, um, that's kind of fun to think about, but it, it's not the end of my story, and it's not the end of the world. It'll be an adventure. I'm still young enough, I'm healthy enough, I'm vibrant enough that um it's almost like camping in the city out of my car, if you will. Um, I'm laughing now, but believe me, I'm not always this happy about it. Um, yeah. So the purpose of this video is to share this news with you, also to let you know that I won't have a setup after I leave this house for doing astrology readings, which means that if you want a reading, get it, get your reading in now. It'll help me out a lot. It'll give me some extra cash, some extra padding, and you will get to have your reading. Um, and this is not, I don't see this as a permanent thing for me, obviously. I do see it as a short-term um setback, if you will, experience, really. It's an experience. And it's not forever. I don't know how long it'll be, but it's definitely not forever. I do have some things in the works that I'm faithful that will make money. It's just a matter of time. They haven't happened as soon as I'd like them, but life often doesn't work on our schedule. It happens when it happens, right? So all is not lost, all hope is not lost, but for a time period, I will not be able to make any do any readings particularly. I don't know if I'll make any videos or not. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see how it goes. They won't be traditional astrology videos, they'll just be interest videos that kind of update videos about my homeless adventure, I guess you could say. Um, yeah. Um, what else? Yeah, I also think it'll be super interesting to see the chronology when I rise up out of my um homelessness, I guess you could say, into something more prominent, right? It'll be very um, um, dramatic, and fun to witness all the whole journey, right? For you guys watching. Uh what else? So I mean this isn't really a surprise to me, and let me explain why. Um Karmically, I believe I contracted for this before I was born. It's a certain karma that I have to resolve as part of my destiny, and it will make sense in the long run, right? It's starting to make sense to me because I can put some things together about my life. But if you don't know me that well, you will understand as time goes by why this happened. Because you see certain people before they have their big break, before they have their big success in life, they go through a lot of hardship, right? It's always darkest before dawn. You see that again and again if you pay attention to success stories. And I know this is not the end of my story because it's just not. I understand a bit about karmic energy patterns and how they work, and you need to get through certain things before other things happen, right? It's a series of progression, right? Um, Furthermore, when I was young, I actually dressed up in Halloween as a homeless person one time. And I knew the reason I did that because I knew in the back of my mind there was some connection I had um with homelessness. Like I always felt empathy, compassion for the homeless. I always gave money, not always, because there's a lot of homeless people. You can't give money to everyone, but often throughout the years. I mean, I not just like loose change, but like dollar bills. When I didn't have that much money, I would give money to homeless here and there. Um, I've even given like large bills to homeless people at times. And that's not to say if you're compassionate or care about the homeless that you will end up as a homeless at one point in your life. But for me, it does seem to make sense. And also the trajectory over the years, why things have not been working in a career orientation the way I wanted them to, like why I was steadily doing worse every year, for a long period of time. Like, where is this headed? Where is this going? Okay, I get it now. Like, okay, it's pushing me in the direction that I needed to resolve, which is spend time as without a home, right? As hard as it is to swallow, as much as I don't like it, as uncomfortable and as embarrassing as it is, I'm not proud of it. I've got my Leo placements, which make me very proud and, wanting to succeed and be a big shot and all that. Leo likes to be very royal and regal and proud of itself and esteemed and all that. And so this is not easy, right? To realize that I've come to this and that this is where I'm going to be, right? Yeah, but all's not lost. I do have a car. I can sleep in my car. So, I have a station wagon, a Volkswagen, old Volkswagen station wagon. I don't know how long I'll have it, but I'm going to keep it as long as possible. And I do have some minor support network in Philly that I can use to help me. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna be homeless. I'm gonna be out in the streets. Um, Starting on the eclipse, April 8th. That's right around then. Because my landlord, not my landlord, he's the new owner. My house was sold. The new owner gave me a month, and it was March 10th. So April 10th is 1 month, but I figure April 8th is the eclipse. That's the perfect turning point, right? To make it all official. So that's my plan. Right on the eclipse day, I'm out. Um, Before then, I'm gonna secure a place for my mom. That's happening. That's in the works. So far, I mean, hopefully nothing's official yet, but we're gonna get her on Medicaid and put her in a home, an old age home, as they call them, and that's not ideal. I hate the idea of putting my mom in one of those, but it's better than her being on the streets with no bed, no food, no shelter, right? I can hack it. I'm young. She's old, right? She needs the comforts and luxury more than I do. So, yeah, there's that. So, like, guys, book a reading with me if you're itching to get one at any time in the near future, do it now. Right? It'll help me out a lot. The other thing is, hit the like button, subscribe, share, all that. Why is this happening? Like astrologically, why not? Let's look at it, see what's going on, see if we can make some sense of it. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to look at my chart. One of the times I get to indulge and really focus on myself, my chart. Okay, so here's my chart, right? All right. So, I mean, this is really has to do with the 4th, 10th house axis, right? Which, as you can see, is activated for me with Mars, Saturn, Heart of Fortune. But let's go one step at a time. All right. For the transits, we do have Pluto opposing my Saturn, with Saturn ruling the 4th, right? And so 4th house activity with Pluto in the 4th is definitely going to be on the forefront. Pluto just moved into Aquarius. So just as Pluto moved into Aquarius, I had all these issues with my landlord, then the house was sold. My landlord was still harassing me, trying to break in, demanding rent money, even though the house was sold, and he was lying to me about it. Totally asshole. Like, he demanding rent from me when he didn't even own the house. Like, what a fucking prick. I had to call the cops on him twice because he was literally trying to break into my house. He has the keys to the lock. And I know you're like, oh, just change the lock. Well, I don't have the money and I'm leaving anyway. But anyway, calling cops twice was enough to deter him. He's not harassing me anymore and he doesn't own the house. But yeah, Pluto in the 4th, Mars also in the 4th. Mars, as you know, is it's also a malefic. It's transiting. The main thing is Pluto. Pluto opposite Saturn, Pluto in the 4th opposite Saturn, right? Next thing is that in my secondary progressions, my son just ingressed into Leo. So now there's a whole Leo stellium with the natal, Saturn and Mars, but then Sun, Ceres, Saturn, Mercury, Venus, all in secondary progressed Leo. Main thing being, you wouldn't guess that this would lead to my downfall or homelessness, but Saturn's being activated big time by the conjunction of Sun. And yeah, Sun's in good dignity in Leo, but there's still a lot of activity over this Saturn with Pluto, Sun, and then also, so it is my 12th house yearly perfection year. Okay, so that's activating Pluto. That's also activating Venus, which you can see here on my solar return on 2023. Venus, which is Lord of the Year, is also at 0 degrees Leo, right? Really hammering this Saturn. Also, my the Pluto on my solar return was at 0 degrees Aquarius, directly opposing this Saturn. So this is a very Saturnian time for me. My Saturn is getting absolutely smashed with various transits, right? Pluto opposition, progressed Sun, and then Lord of the Year Venus on my solar return. So it's multiple hits on my Saturn that's just really activating my Saturn, which is ruling the 4th house. And just causing absolute chaos in regards to my home, which is ruled by Saturn, right? Which Saturn is restriction. Saturn in Leo is not particularly good. Its opposite is domicile, so it's in detriment, right? Yeah. All of these are squaring my ascendant, squaring Uranus, which is often my, this is like shocks and trauma, sudden events. So it is a doozy. It is a doozy. The nodes are going to disrupt my daily life, with the eclipses. We're gonna have a south node eclipse in Libra, 5 degrees, which will also be quite close to my Pluto. And then the north node, then eclipse with the solar eclipse on 19 degrees Aries. It's not really hitting, well, it's in conjunct my moon, so that's going to be tough on my heart, emotions. I think it's going to activate it in some way. and considering the way things are going, um, it'll probably make me cry, but a lot of things are making me cry right now, so that's okay. Um, yeah, daily life is what is going to be all upended with this eclipse, literally, because li re my schedule, my daily life is going to be rearranged exactly on the eclipse, right on the day of the eclipse. So this is fun times for me. But I'm not asking for pity, actually. I'm not asking for anything. I'm sharing information. I want to share some good news because that all seems quite difficult. Um, my next solar return, which is coming up June 5th, is quite interesting because um it's going to be a Sun Kazemi Venus, Venus Kazemi year. And Venus is direct. And I've noticed that in the past years when this has happened, I've had major events taking place. In the years where um my solar return had a Venus Cazimi or very close to one, I've had major relationships beginnings, and where it has been retrograde, those have been endings, right? So yeah, I broke up with my son's mother on a Venus retrograde Cazimi, and then I met another girl. Another girl came into my life when it was Cazimi direct, several years later. And then this one, I have no idea what's going to happen. Um, it'll be a first house perfection year. Mars will be in my sixth house in Aries, which is a pretty good position for Mars, right? It'll be Mars is Lord of the Year. Um, yeah, so hopefully my luck will change pretty quickly because this is a good omen. Venus, Cazimi, the sun. It signifies very positive things for me. It's ruling my seventh house and my 12th house. Um, Venus Cazimi is generally considered quite positive for the sun and for my 10th house, dispositing my ascendant lord and Saturn. Um, what else? It should be a pretty interesting year ahead in general, just because it's activating my first whole sign house and my Uranus and my Mars, um, Pluto's to some extent. Um, yeah, I've got a whole Gemini stellium going on here, in fact, with Moon, Jupiter, Mercury, Sun, Venus, and part of Fortune. Um, yeah, Uranus will be conjunct my natal Mercury by 1 degree. That should be interesting. That should give me a lot of, really great ideas. Um, I think during this time period, my project will be finished and I could finally release it to the world and share what that is and start making money from it with it. Um, so all is not lost, guys. I am very hopeful about the future. Um, it's just a dark period before the dawn, birthing pangs, you get squeezed out of this narrow canal and then you're born into a new world. And that's what I feel is happening to me right now. So yeah, I don't want anyone to be overly concerned with me. Um, I will be fine. I will survive. I will have fun. I will have an adventure. So um anyway, um I wanted to share all that with you, and gosh, I feel like I'm gonna cry now. That's okay. Crying is good. Tears are good because they help us process and overcome, our negativity. So All right. I'm gonna go. So I'll probably make another video before I hit the streets. So just to update you guys and let you know what's going on. But yeah, it is what it is. Book a reading with me, and I will see you again soon. Mediocre astrologer signing off. Man, he's okay. Laugh it off, guys. If I can laugh it off, so can you. Take a victory laugh, win before you win. And I'll see you again soon. All right, thanks. Bye.